And it looked like I found the footage of Kelsey Mitchell pretty much ignoring Sophie Cunningham during last night matchup. Guys, for this one here.
Well, here we go again. Folks, another night, another WNBA disaster. But this one, all eyes locked on Kelsey Mitchell, caught in the act of the unthinkable. She didn't pass the ball. Not to Sophie Cunningham. Not when Sophie was standing there. Wide open like a Starbucks at 6 a.m. Just waiting. And the fans, they're spiraling. The receipts, brutal. But here's the real question. Was it selfishness or just a lapse in basketball IQ? So picture it. Indiana fever, game on the edge, the clock bleeding down. And guess who's holding the moment in her hands? Kelsey Mitchell. Now, if you've been tuned in this season, or honestly the last few, you saw it coming, didn't you? Because this wasn't just one bad decision. It's starting to feel like her whole story. Ball in her hands, game on the line, and instead of leaning on her team, she straps on the cape. She's the hero, or at least she wants to be. But spoiler alert, this time, she wasn't.
Was pretty much ignored in the last final seconds of the game, man. Now, we already know Kelsey Mitchell do not have a clutch bone in her body, dog. And I tried to tell y'all yesterday, bro, and even the game before. Do not give Kelsey Mitchell the ball when the game is on the line. I don't know how many times I said that over and over again. I put my faith in Sophie Cunningham, not because she's from my home state, but just simply she's been a proven winner when it comes to making her shots in crucial moments. We all could agree on that. Sophie Cunningham has the clutch gene, and unfortunately, Kelsey Mitchell just ain't got it.
And the worst part? Sophie Cunningham was right there, like the world's most obvious choice. Posted in the corner, wide open, locked in, ready to launch. A spot-up shooter with the clutch gene fully engaged. The kind of player who lives for this. But nope, Mitchell wanted to cook. The issue? She didn't have the ingredients. And what happened next? A brick. Cold. Flat. Missed it. Fans everywhere just threw their hands in the air like, yeah, we've watched this movie before, same ending, and it stinks every time.
Right here, Sophie Cunningham slides right. Kelsey was supposed to pass her that ball. She was supposed to pass her that ball. Right about, hold on. Nope. Right there.
You didn't even have to be some die-hard WNBA junkie to see how wild this was. The clip blew up online because, honestly, it was that clear. Sophie's out there, waving like she's holding a flare gun, practically screaming in fluent basketball body language. Hey, ball. Here. Now. But nope. Mitchell just kept dribbling like she was channeling Allen Iverson in 2001. Only instead of snapping ankles and raining down buckets, she ended up breaking something else entirely, the hearts of Fever fans. Again.
Give Sophie the ball. 3-point shot right now. Give her the ball now. Still would have been 17 seconds left on the clock. Now you guys don't have to foul. You forced them. You guys would essentially force them to go down there and shoot the ball, make a shot. And guess what happens? We goes to overtime. We go into overtime. Then, you know what? Once we go into overtime.
And this is where things really start to unravel. Because this isn't just a missed shot anymore, it's a pattern. Mitchell's had multiple games this season where she grabs the wheel in crunch time, and every single time, same ending. Bad shot, turnover, wasted possession, and another painful L. The numbers aren't lying. Just look at how many late-game leads Indiana's coughed up this season. It's turning into a full-blown embarrassment. Fans are counting 5, 6, maybe even 8 games where they had the win right there and lost it to the same tired script. Meanwhile, Sophie Cunningham, one of the few steady, clutch performers the Fever can actually trust. When things get tight, when someone needs to step up with nerves of steel, she's shown she can do it. She's not flawless, but at least she's not out there forcing up contested bricks while teammates stand abandoned, frozen like mannequins in the corners. And that's the part that stings. It's not just Mitchell missing. It's that she keeps ignoring the very players built for those moments.
Attention to detail, knowing personnel, Defensively, knowing the schemes. I think a lot of our breakdowns today was just knowing who you was guarding, knowing where you needed to be based on who you were guarding, whether that's off the ball or in the gap. We just weren't sharp. We weren't sharp enough to be a contender for anything tonight. And I think a big part of tomorrow is being able to defensively be sound so we can get what we want offensively.
Was kind of my question. Would you guys say that the points in the paint?
Now, let's talk about what this really means, because fans aren't just mad about one play. They're upset because this feels like proof. Proof that Mitchell might care more about being the closer than actually winning. And yeah, there's a big difference between confidence and delusion. Confidence is knowing you can take the shot. Delusion? That's thinking you're the only one who should take it, even when there's a wide open teammate who's literally better for that moment. And you know what really twists the knife? This isn't happening in a vacuum. Caitlin Clark isn't even on the floor right now. Remember, she's only in her second year, and yet fans are already nervous. Nervous about what this team looks like when she's not the one dragging them forward. So what's the plan now? Apparently, it's to let Mitchell run the show and tank the game. That's what it feels like. No Clark, no direction, no trust. Just Mitchell pounding the ball into the floor, waiting for something, anything to happen until it all falls apart. And now, fans are starting to ask the tough questions. Is this just bad basketball IQ? Is it selfishness? Or is it something deeper, like coaching? Because Stephanie White, the Fever's head coach, has some explaining to do. You're telling us there was no play drawn up for Sophie in that moment? No look to space the floor? No design to get the ball to your one reliable shooter? It's like White just handed the keys to Mitchell and crossed her fingers, hoping she'd morph into Diana Taurasi. Newsflash, she's not. And the results prove it. Fans see what's happening. They're not clueless. They've been lighting up social media. Some say we lost that game because of Mitchell's ego. Others, bench her in crunch time. Let Sophie and Aaliyah close it out. And honestly, they might be right, because this team can't keep giving away wins like they're on clearance at Walmart. And then there's the Chloe BBY angle. Fans are fired up that BBY's not seeing the floor. She had a solid showing not long ago. And then, poof, gone from the rotation. Why? No one seems to know. And people are starting to connect the dots, whispering maybe the coaching staff is tanking without Clark around. Now, I'm not saying I fully believe that, but it does look shady when players who could actually shift the momentum are benched, while lineups that can't close games keep getting the nod. And to make it worse, this feels like deja vu. Over and over, Indiana builds a lead, looks steady, looks in control, then folds in the fourth. And time after time, it's Mitchell in the center of the chaos. Too much dribbling, not enough passing, turnovers that sting. Fans are done with it. And if I'm being real, so am I. Now look, Mitchell isn't the worst player in the league. She's got talent. She's got athleticism. When she's on, she can score with the best of them. But the problem? She doesn't know when to let go. She doesn't know when it's time to say, okay, this moment isn't mine. Let me set up Sophie. Let me trust Aaliyah. Let me use the team. That's the difference between good players and great ones. Great players elevate everyone around them. Mitchell, right now, she's dragging the team down with tunnel vision. And this is where Sophie Cunningham's name carries weight, because she's not just some bench warmer getting lucky minutes. She's a proven winner, a player who's delivered time and time again in pressure moments. She's got that clutch DNA. So when someone like that is standing wide open, and you ignore her, that's not just a blown play. That's disrespect. That's saying, I don't trust you, even when all the evidence says you should. And that's where things start to crack inside the locker room. Because trust me, Sophie's not the only one feeling that frustration. Other players see it. They see Mitchell dominating the ball. They see teammates left wide open. They see winnable games slipping right through their fingers. And you know they're talking, maybe not on camera, but behind the scenes. Oh, yeah, those conversations are happening. And nothing poisons chemistry faster than one player acting like she's above the rest. fans are already starting to draw comparisons to past WNBA stars who knew how to shine when the lights got brightest. Names like Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, even Maya Moore come up. These were players who could score, sure, but more importantly, they knew when to dish it out. They knew how to create the best shot for the team, not just themselves. That's the level Mitchell refuses to reach, and that's why fans are running out of patience. And we can't ignore the bigger picture here. The WNBA is fighting hard to grow its audience. Caitlin Clark brought massive attention. Viewership is up. People are finally talking about women's basketball. And then what happens? Games like this. Poor decisions, questionable coaching, stars left out, and the whole thing feels like chaos. You can't build a strong fan base if the product on the court looks this dysfunctional. And right now, that's exactly how it looks. Here's the thing. When you keep handing the ball to the same player who keeps failing in crunch time, it's not just a bad look for her. It's a bad look for the entire organization. The Fever already struggle with credibility. And this is exactly the kind of mess that keeps fans from fully buying in. Fans want to see growth. They want to see a team moving forward, not recycling the same mistakes over and over again. And honestly, the whole Kelsey Sophie saga is the perfect example of why the Fever just can't seem to turn the corner. Because on one hand, you've got Sophie Cunningham, proven, reliable, and flat-out clutch. On the other, Kelsey Mitchell, who wants to be the closer but just can't deliver. It's like trusting a vending machine that keeps swallowing your dollar. At some point, you walk away and find a new option. But Indiana, they keep putting their faith in the same broken machine. What's even funnier or sadder, depending on how you see it, is that fans saw this coming. People were literally calling it out before the game even ended. Don't give the ball to Kelsey late, they said. Run the play for Sophie. And guess what? They were right. The fans saw it. The commentators saw it. The replays showed it. Everybody knew it, except the one dribbling the ball. But the bigger question is, what now? Because this isn't fading away quietly. Sophie has a loyal fan base. She's got a reputation as a hard worker, a clutch player, someone who gives her all for the team. People love her energy, her fight. So when she gets ignored, it hits fans personally. It feels like the team is disrespecting one of the few players they can truly count on. And for Mitchell, the heat's only growing. Fans are already saying she doesn't have that clutch gene. They say she's selfish. She doesn't trust her teammates, and she's hurting the team more than helping. That's a tough label to shake once it sticks. Just ask any NBA or WNBA player who's been tagged a choker. You can have all the stats, but when people think you fold under pressure, that becomes your whole identity. Now, let's be fair. Mitchell's had her moments. She's not a bum. She's a talented scorer when she's in rhythm. But the problem? She doesn't know how to adjust when the game gets tight. She goes into hero ball mode, and it kills the Fever's chances. And the sad part? It's not like she doesn't have options. Sophie's standing there wide open. Aaliyah Boston's down low, a force in the paint. Lexi Hull can knock down shots when she's set up. The options are there. She just refuses to use them. And this is where coaching really needs to step in. Stephanie White has to stop letting this happen. If your point guard or shooting guard is consistently blowing games in crunch time, you don't just shrug and say, oh, well, maybe next time. You make adjustments. You run plays that force the ball into the hands of your best shooters. You make it clear that the team comes before individual ego. Because right now, it feels like White is just rolling the ball out and hoping for the best. That's not coaching. That's gambling. And don't even get me started on Chloe BBY. Fans are absolutely right to be mad about her lack of playing time. She brings toughness, energy, and shooting. And yet, she's sitting on the bench while the Fever run the same tired lineups that collapse in the fourth quarter. It makes no sense. If you want to win games, you use all the tools at your disposal. Benching a capable player while overplaying someone who's struggling is how you tank games, whether it's intentional or not. But let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about Indiana. This is about the WNBA as a whole. The league is fighting for relevance. Caitlin Clark brought in a wave of new fans. People are finally paying attention. But when the product on the court looks sloppy, when teams blow leads, when players ignore their teammates, what message does that send? It tells new fans, this league doesn't know how to put its best foot forward. And that's a disaster. Look, people want to care about the WNBA. They want to invest their time and energy. But the league has to give them a reason, too. And right now, the Fever are giving people a reason to roll their eyes and change the channel. That's the harsh truth. Without Clark on the floor, the team looks lost. Without smart decision-making, they look like amateurs. And without leadership from the coaching staff, they look like they're just winging it. That's not how you build a loyal fan base. And yet, there's still hope because the fix isn't complicated. Pass the ball, trust your teammates, run plays that make sense. It's not rocket science. If Mitchell can swallow her pride and realize Sophie is the better option in clutch moments, the Fever can actually win these games. If Stephanie White can hold her players accountable and stop enabling bad habits, this team can turn things around. But until that happens, we'll keep watching the same movie on repeat. And it's a movie fans are tired of seeing. So, let's circle back to the original question. Is this selfish play or just bad basketball IQ? Honestly, it's a little bit of both. Mitchell clearly wants to be the closer, but she doesn't have the skills or vision to actually do it. At the same time, it's just flat-out dumb basketball to ignore a wide-open shooter like Sophie. Either way, the result's the same. Another loss in the books, another fan base frustrated, and another wasted chance for the WNBA to showcase quality basketball. So, here's where we're at. Kelsey Mitchell had the chance to prove herself. Instead, she proved every critic right. Sophie Cunningham deserved that shot, and fans know it. But what do you think? Was the selfishness bad coaching, or both? Drop your thoughts in the comments.